What steps is the EFF willing to follow if, let's say, the president does take his time? Because I think he is a man who, as he likes to put it, apply his mind to a matter or be given space, I think is usually the wording around it. You would have seen previously two ministers swapping roles instead of a minister being told to leave office. And I'm talking here about Thembi Simelane, when allegations of a similar nature started swirling around her. What is it that the EFF thinks it can do in order to have people who are accused of corruption dealt with and dealt with properly?
Look, I think the first thing we need to do is to review the appointing powers of the President of South Africa in terms of how he has so much power to appoint people who head investigative and legal institutions in South Africa. He has the basically unilateral powers to appoint the public protector, practically unilateral powers to appoint the judge of the Constitutional Court, practically unilateral powers to appoint the head of the National Prosecuting Authority. And I think this is part and parcel of the reason why those who are his allies in the ANC feel so emboldened in committing acts of corruption, and yet they will not be removed because they are lieutenants of someone who appoints everyone who's supposed to hold everyone accountable and investigate them as law enforcement agencies. So the Limpopo High Court has already described this tender awarding process by Khumbudzo Ntshavheni as something that is devastating and repugnant. And they're the ones who referred this to the Hawks, and the Hawks have done the investigations now, which we think was too lengthy, over 4 years, and handed it over to the NPA. So I think something that we're going to do now is observe keenly whether the NPA is going to refuse to prosecute, whether they're going to prosecute, and then take it further and possibly explore a process of private prosecution. Because it seems like people like Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, still under Beni Abrahams, Gwede Mantashe, are immune to law enforcement agencies in South Africa, whether they are investigated by institutions such as the State of Capture Report, whether they are found guilty by courts of law, whether they're implicated by forensic reports or Auditor General reports. Nothing ever happens to them, and they're promoted or shifted around, as you're saying. It happened with Thembi Nkadibengo, Simelane rather. So we're going to observe the process of the NPA, whether they're going to prosecute, and then take the necessary steps moving forward. But people of South Africa must observe keenly that those who are loyal or regarded as loyal lieutenants of Cyril Ramaphosa are immune from scrutiny and immune from law enforcement agencies and repercussions for corrupt acts.